So in this video, I'm going to show you how I get my makeup maps from Substance Painter to Blender. So I have my makeup already done inside of Substance Painter. This is what it looks like. And we're going to start the exporting process. So most of the time what I do for me to have full control of the colors inside of Blender, I always like to export them as masks. So what you need to do is you need to go into your texture set settings and add a new channel. You can add a user channel over here, and on the user channel you can just name it makeup mask. So once you're done, make sure you change the channel type to L8. This is a black and white channel, so just make sure you do that. The next step for you to do is make sure that you create a fill layer on the bottom of all your layers, and make sure that the only channel activated is the makeup map channel, and make sure that it's on 1. So if we go into our channel view here and we click on makeup map, you can see that it is white. So just need to turn it back down to 0. So this is what it looks like. So I'm going to go into my makeup folder. This is the folder that has all of the makeup. You can see I divided them into different parts just so that I can have full control of each part. If I want to turn one part off or use it for another avatar, I can have that control. The next thing you need to do is I'm just going to go back into my makeup map view so that I can see what is happening, and also so you can see what's happening. I'm going to turn off all the channels. I'm going to start from the bottom channel. So basically I'm going to export my maps based off of like the layers I created. So from the base layer up to the top layer. So the eyeshadow 01 is my base layer. I'm also going to just make sure that I am on that layer, and I make sure that I'm just going to turn off this mask and turn on the makeup map mask. So make sure it's turned to 1, so you can see wherever like I painted on the blue color I already had here would turn to white. So this is exactly what we need. This is the mask we need for Blender. So I'm just going to export textures. I'm going to select my desktop so it's easy to find. Desktop. Just gonna create a folder. YouTube makeup tutorial, and just going to that folder, and I'm only exporting my map for the face. So I'm going to click on the face, and in the output settings I need to go into my global settings and see the output template I have selected. So it's the Blender Principal BSDF from Cache. So I'm just going to go into my output template because I need to edit it to include the mask texture or the mask channel I just added. So let's see if we can find that. I think it's this one. Let's see. So we need to add the user channel 1 to the list of output maps we need to create. So I'm just going to create a gray channel, and I'm going to drag the user channel 1 to this gray channel and just call it a gray channel, right? Then I'm going to rename this makeup mask. Yeah. So next thing I'm going to do is go back to my settings and just make sure that Principal BSDF with mask is selected. You can export at 2K, 4K, doesn't really matter. And now you can see we have the option of exporting just the makeup mask, and that is all we need. So I'm just going to turn off the rest of the channel so that I'm exporting just this, right? So I'm going to export. I'm also going to click on save settings for now, so that by the time I go back and I export the rest of the layers of my eye look, everything is being exported. So I'm just going to go into my desktop and let me open up that folder right here so you can have a look. So this is what it looks like. So we have the first one. I always like to rename the layer once I export it out to correspond with the layering or the what do you call it, the labeling I did inside of substance. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. So the next thing you just have to do is click on the next channel and just turn on like the makeup map channel of the next one, and make sure the previous one has been deselected. So you just do the same thing, export textures and export. So export again. Let's see. Now you can see we have another map. So I'm just going to copy and paste. So anytime I export, I just make sure that I change the naming convention here, because you know, once you export without changing the naming convention, it literally saves on top of, like, it rewrites what you already saved. So that export, not changing any settings. Go back to my, what's this called, eye shimmer. You're going to just repeat that process for all of the layers, making sure to turn on the channel before exporting and export, and also going back to rename. So makeup map, this is the inner corner highlights. Do the same for the eyeliner. Sports. Liner. And the last layer, which is the eyeliner with the bow. Just going to turn that off and export texture. Export. Let's rename. Rename with bow. So once you're done, so now that we've exported our textures out of Substance, I have imported them into Blender, and this is what it looks like. My main skin material is consists of two nodes. We have two principal BSDF, which have been super edited to fit my custom makeup maps I create inside of Substance. Jump into my makeup node, and you can see I have 3 separate makeup nodes. Depending on how complex the layers of your makeup is, I'll suggest you duplicate as needed. So it's just, all of these are just a duplication of the original one, which I grouped so that my main material setup won't be as cluttered. So I already have this node which I can append or bring into different projects as needed, as long as it's the same UV. Depending on the avatar I'm creating, the makeup map will fit. So I feel like that's a smarter way to work, as opposed to literally like creating it all the time. And because of the way we exported our maps as black and white textures, it's very easy to change up the look and mix it with other maps to make one complete makeup look. I just feel it's more versatile that way. So bringing in my makeup maps, let's just zoom in here, right? We have all of the maps here. So what we are going to do is we are going to leave the first slot open because I want to bring in a blush map for the max 1 slot. So we are going to start with a max 2, and inside of substance we had our we are going to follow this layering system we created. So we're starting with eyeshadow 1, and the last layer will be the eyeliner with the bow layer. So let's just jump back into Blender, and we're going to connect this to the max 2 slot. We can't see anything happen because we haven't activated it. So activating the slots just means you just have to turn on the mix, so you can make it, you know, as light as you want if you don't want it that intense, right? So this is also like a control of the intensity. You can also play with the metallic if you want it super metallic or rough, or shiny, depending on the type of look you're going for. So we're going to be layering it that way. So the next thing is the eyeshadow 2. So I'm just going to put that into max 3 and turn on my mix, right? So you can see obviously we have different colors, and that is the point of the node system I've created, right? We can always change the colors to fit whatever look we're going for. So I just feel this is a more versatile way of working than joining it with the base texture. And I can always use this same makeup map and just put the node for a different avatar with a different skin base, right? So the next thing is the eye shimmer, if I'm correct. Yes, I am. Just going to jump back into Blender, and we are going to connect this to the next node in the max 1 and turn on the mix. So we can see it's highly metallic. Let's just turn down the metallic for now and probably change the color to something grayish, right? The next one is the inner corner highlight, and we're going to connect that to the max 2 of the second node and turn it on. You can see now we have the inner corner highlight. You can choose to turn off whichever layer we're working on if we don't like the way it looks. And the last layer is the eyeliner with a bow, and we're going to connect that to the max 3 slot and turn on the mix. So you can see we have that, right? So let's play with the colors now. I have a bunch of color palettes I have put together on my PureRef, so I just put that up. So let's maybe go with an orange look. I don't know, now I'm confused. So this is one of the reasons I created this node, so that I have options when it comes to colors. So let's do the blue. So I'm going to go into eyeshadow 1. Let's put that here. Eyeshadow 1. Let's change the color to this blue, right? Eyeshadow 2. Let's change it to this. The next one is the eye shimmer. Let's change the color to the lighter blue, and let's also turn on the metallic just a bit. And the next one is the inner corner highlights. We're going to use maybe this blue. Doesn't look bad. And the last color is the bow. Let's use this blue. I don't like that. Let's change the blue to something like this. I think this looks good. So now we can go in and play with if we want it metallic or not. I want the bow to be super metallic, So you can see I'm also going to turn down the metalness of the shimmer. So we have something like this. Let's play with the inner corner highlight. Let's make it a little bit metallic and also probably reduce the brightness of it. Let's make the color a little bit brighter. So basically I can come in and change whatever colors I want. I'm going to quickly bring in my blush texture, and let's see, I'm just looking for that. So let's bring in a blush, something like this, and I'm going to connect that to Max 1 and turn on the color. You can see that's what it looks like. So I'm just going to bring down the mix a bit and also play with the color so it's a bit darker and increase the roughness. So basically it's the same steps you take for exporting out the lips mask. I do have some lip mask I can put in, but that's the way I work with my textures when I texture inside of Substance for makeup, right? So I just brought in a lip mask and that's it. Boom, my texture is complete and I can go ahead and render at the end of the day. So guys, this is how I bring in my textures from Substance into Blender for rendering and full customization. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.